the Living Soulo podcast, an ambitious woman's guide to living a bold and inspired life. If you're new here, my name is Asia Brown, and I'm your host. I'm a travel, beauty, fashion, lifestyle blogger. In this episode, we will be talking about the power of knowing your worth with a special guest. This guest, in particular, is a good friend and a well-known celebrity Pilates instructor in Los Angeles, Amber Flowers. I've had the privilege of taking her classes and knowing her on a personal level, and I felt like she had a compelling story to share. I can't wait for you to hear her story.
Yay! Hello. Hello.
Hi.
I'm so excited. Finally, we're making this happen. I know it's been a while.
Girl. Like fifth time.
Right.
Yeah, I'm really excited to be here.
Yes. Well, yeah, I gave a brief intro on you, but if you would like to share more about yourself, your work, what got you into Pilates, and we can go from there.
Yeah. So I'm Amber Flowers. I started dancing when I was a little girl in like the church. I did like church dancing for a few years, and then I got into African dance. And then I danced at my school in high school. I did cheerleading, and that led me to dancing in college as a majorette dancer for Winston-Salem State University. And then after college, I moved to Charlotte, North Carolina, and I danced for the Hornets, which was an awesome experience. I danced for 2 years, and with that, it was hard for me to find a job that allowed me to both dance and then also pursue industry dance in addition to working. So I was able to work at a place called Club Pilates, which is a pretty big Pilates studio that I know a lot of people are aware of now. But I started that in Charlotte, North Carolina. And then I was like, okay, cool. I want to dance professionally. So I moved to Atlanta and I danced backup for an artist, which was an amazing experience as well. And then there I became a certified Pilates instructor. And I did that because I realized a lot of people of color were not in the practice. And so to be honest, a lot of the classes were kind of dry. Like there wasn't a lot of good music. There were a lot of things that just weren't relatable to me as far as like the people in class or the jokes that they would make. I'm like, okay, this isn't hitting for me. So, but the practice is beautiful. So I'm like, okay, well, I know that I'm a teacher at heart. I'm a dancer, and this is kind of similar. So I feel like this is something that I can do. So I got certified in 2020, and it's now 2024. So I've been teaching the practice for 4 years, and I created Spice Pilates just to diversify the practice so that way everybody could just feel represented and be seen and empowered in the space.
Yes, look, she's doing it all. Yeah, so Amber and I met actually at a party, and I feel like we just instantly clicked. It was just like, oh my gosh, we both love to dance, good vibes.
It was everyday people.
Yes.
It was everyday people. And that was like when I first moved here. I think that was the first everyday people I had ever gone to. So
yeah,
it was
same.
a good experience.
It was really fun, and I feel like I love that your why translates to your clients, because I do feel like when I go to Amber's classes, I feel like it's very... like you feel the vibe. The music is great. Like you see all different types of people in the class. Like you don't feel like, oh, I shouldn't be in there. Like we've all experienced being in spaces. I'm sure if you've, grown up in different environments where everyone's looking at you because you're only Black girl or, whatever it is. And so to be in a space that feels like you can focus on just tapping into yourself and like being present with the practice of Pilates, because it ain't easy. And like if you are in LA, you need to take Amber's class.
Come out.
Because I'd be like cussing her out in my head, like, girl.
And that's okay.
And she be dancing, and you're just like, and I'm like,
yeah.
But it works.
It does. And it's so welcoming to like see people that look like you or even people that don't look like you. But it's just like different people in this space is just comforting. And then it allows you to just let free and be able to do the practice without being worried about anybody else's thoughts or opinions. It's just like, Pilates is your own journey. So, yeah.
Yeah. No, you've done an excellent job. I love to see that your why has just blossomed in real form.
Thank you.
So the reason why we're here is because I saw on your Instagram, you posted this story about working.
And my close friends.
And her close friends, which I feel honored to be a part of. But I felt, and I asked her permission, of course, just to take a clip of it because I felt like it's so relatable. I'm going to share it with you all, and then we will discuss a little.
Hey y'all, happy Thursday, Friday Junior. I'm just now getting done teaching. I agreed to sub someone's shift, so there's that. But I'm kind of annoyed because this brand, they're a really big brand, reached out to me and asked me to teach at their event in like 2 weeks or whatever. And we got on a call, talked, chopped it up. I was like, okay, bet. They didn't bring up the topic of compensation, which I was like, okay, well, I'm going to ask, obviously, because you're asking me to do a big event. Like, why would I not ask for compensation? So I asked at the end, like, okay, like, what do you all pay your instructors? And she was like, well, we don't have a rate, but what are you thinking? And I was like, I told her my rate. And then so the lady was like, it should be fine, the rate. I'll confirm with you tomorrow, which was yesterday. Yesterday has come and gone. It is now. And I still haven't heard. So I emailed the lady today and I was like, hey, I just wanted to update. I got an invite for the event, but I just wanted to see, like, you know, if there's an update on your end about me teaching or not. I haven't heard back. But now I feel like bad that I didn't do the opportunity for free because it's at a beautiful mansion, like in Hollywood. But then again, it's like, why are you not trying to pay people that you're asking to work? Like, you asked me my rate, I told you it. You didn't even mention, like, oh, well, this isn't a paid event, but you get X, Y, and Z. Like, it wasn't even an option. Crazy is I feel guilty for not just doing it for free. I feel guilty for telling them my rate. And that's sad that I feel this way. Because it's like, oh, I'm missing out on an opportunity. Something better is coming. I can feel it.
Okay, so it really stuck out to me because in the age of like content creation and like influencing, like everyone's looking for brand deals and brand partnerships. It's easy when you're first starting out to do things for visibility.
Right.
And you're like, oh, well, like, you know, like I get visibility, like I get to go to this beautiful house, this beautiful mansion, whatever. And it's like, you've been doing this like as a practice, you are certified, you have your own business in Pilates. Mm-hmm. And, you know, ABC company was like, no, we're not going to pay you, or didn't want to bring up money.
Yeah.
What? And I love too that you, because so many people are in different parts of that journey. Some people are like, oh, should I take it? Like you were coming from a place of sharing, but also being like, it's sad that I feel bad, but I know I'm standing on business.
Right.
How did you get to that point? Because I'm sure you didn't start out like that.
Right. No, so I've been doing content for a minute now. When I was living in Atlanta, which is like 3 years ago, just posting on Instagram just for fun, honestly. But then I noticed like, oh, okay, things are getting like likes and oh, now you can get paid for likes. So, okay, let me actually do something that is beneficial to others. So that way I can get paid, but also be of service. But yeah, like getting free clothes, that's something that I would do at first. And it's like, okay, cute. Well, I'm already working out. So it's like, why not get a free outfit? Actually, I think I started dancing. So that's what I would post as far as content. And that's how I got like a lot of followers because people love to be entertained. People love to see your two-step to whatever song is going on. So I would post and then I started doing Pilates. And then I realized that I was not necessarily an anomaly as far as a Black instructor, but kinda, because I didn't really see a lot of Black Pilates instructors out there. So I'll begin posting like, oh, I'm new to this practice. Here's what I learned. Here's something that you could do at home. And then it started to pop a little bit as far as like people being like, oh, like I want to try this. What is this practice? And I will also get like, or do collaborations where I would be seen by other people's following. So that would up my following, which I was like, okay, perfect. This is kind of mutually beneficial.
So I'm making an assumption, but maybe it's a projection. But it's like when you first start out, like we do want visibility. We're just like, I'm new. Like there's kind of like this imposter syndrome.
Right.
And so it's like, how did you get to the point of being like, no, this is my rate and I'm not wavering on it?
Right. I would say that did take some time because I feel like I was very new to the space. So I wasn't really sure what was acceptable, what wasn't. Like the visibility is great. And it's like, okay, but at what point is it time to like turn that off and be like, this is the money or this is about my worth. So I would say when I actually started to book things that were kind of major. So I had an opportunity to work with this brand as far as an app. And with that, like I worked with a ton of people who were already really big in the wellness space, big in the influencer space. So it's like, oh, okay, they asked me to be up here with these kind of top dog people. So they obviously see value in myself. So girl, you need to see it in yourself as well. So then after that, I did like my own program with this brand, and they have like thousands of following. So like from that, people would like reach out to me and be like, hey, can you do X, Y, and Z? And I was like, oh, okay, no, like I'm giving value to people. Like people like my programs, people like my energy, people like my teachings. So after that, it's like, oh, okay, the price has gone up. That made me realize, yeah, I can't do things for free anymore.
Yeah. I feel like everyone has this. So like you have one person that believes in you and then you kind of like skyrocket from there.
Absolutely.
Okay. So that's beautiful. Do you feel like, because you come off as an extremely confident person. Yes. And so like, what would you say your confidence is rooted in?
Oh, that's a really good question. I would say my confidence is rooted in my ability to trust myself. As far as like, you know how you have goals and it's like, okay, I have this goal that I want to reach. You reach the goal and then that gives you the boost to be like, oh, this higher goal that I have, I can reach it too. So I would say like trusting in myself in previous things that I've already done to know that, okay, you did this one thing, you can do something else too.
Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And also too, just like, I feel like a lot of people that are around me or that I know feel like they aren't capable of doing certain things. So I want to be like that light to show like people like, oh, I'm your friend. Like, you know me. Oh, Amber did this. So like, if she can do it, I can do it. So I just want to be like a light for other people to know that they can trust and believe in themselves too.
Yeah, and that you are. I feel like if you don't follow Amber, you must, because I live for her stories. Like, I feel honored that I'm a part of your close friends. Wow. But also, it's just like, when you share your wins, it's like, oh, okay, like, I need to keep going. Because, you know, we all have doubt. And, like, I think you never know what people are going through. And you just may, especially like content creation itself. Yeah. I feel like for me, it's like I'm on this content creation journey and like I have a full-time job and I'm trying to navigate all of this and like learning a new space on top of like a demanding job. It's just like a lot. And so consistency can be challenging because it's like, okay, this takes a lot of energy. And I feel like sometimes people are consistent because the results are there. Like you have fast results. And it's like, it seems like we've talked about this. Like, I feel like working out, well, any form of consistency, it takes time to like have sustainable results. Right. So I'm just like inspired by all your posts. Like I'm always just like, oh my gosh, she's killing it. She's getting this client. Like I said, she's a celebrity client. She is. So I'm just like, you know, we got to keep a hush hush. But like specifically, it's like, whenever I hear your wins, like you do exactly that. You are an inspiration. I'm just like, okay, Amber's going, she's achieving her goals. Like I see myself in you and I feel like, yeah, just do what you do. It's like amazing.
No, I appreciate that 1,000%. And I feel like I have my moments where I'm like, oh girl, like, I don't know how I'm about to do this, but we're going to figure it out. Or like you said, having self-doubt and being in funks. I know that's been a thing for me where it's like, oh, I don't want to say depressed because I feel like that's really like rooted deeply, but I would say being in a funk. And then I would say being in a funk because things that you wanted to happen didn't happen. And when that happens multiple times, it's kind of like, oh, well, what's going wrong? Or am I on the right track? But I would say like, if you have a vision and you pray about things consistently and it's in alignment with what God has for your life, then it's like always going to happen. So what is it? Walk by faith, not by sight.
Yes. That's a beautiful thing too. I feel like having a strong faith base is like what can get you through everything. Just like motivating. I feel like this story is very like resonant with, I'm sure most, like we're talking about content creation, but I feel like it can go across anything, like working out. It's like you can work out for a month consistently and not see results. Be like, forget it, I'm not doing it. But like if you dedicate a year, you will see results. But like how many people are consistent for 6 months, let alone a year?
It'd be hard.
Yes, it's so hard.
It's very hard. But I would also say too, like having people around like you that are inspiring to me as well. Like you're in the wellness space, you're in the space of like doing better for yourself and working on traumas to do better. So I feel like having quality people around you is also inspiring and just helps you to keep going.
Yeah, well, thank you.
You're welcome.
I feel like that's important. Like you're as you grow up and like make new friendships, because like we just, I would say, became friends. Like, what was it? I'm like, I have no concept of time anymore, but it's like, that's what you want. You want people that are positive, inspiring. Like I have, like all my friends do have qualities that I want, or that I admire, or that I have myself.
Absolutely.
And it's just like the older you get and the more you want, like if you want to achieve something, you need to surround yourself with winners.
For sure.
Or people that like won't give up and like are strong and have a strong foundation, such as like a strong faith base.
Yeah.
Or just a mindset to keep going. And it's a powerful thing.
Yeah.
When you were coming into this space as a Black Pilates instructor, what did it teach you in that journey?
Okay, so, well, I'm from North Carolina, so like coming here to LA has been completely different, right? It's so much faster than North Carolina. So when I first moved here, it's crazy. I didn't mention this, but when I first moved here, I was not a Pilates instructor. I was like working as a manager because I was like, I just got to get to California and then I'm figure it out after that. And I was managing. And then I started getting invited to like influencer events for wellness spaces, for teachers, all the things. And I would be the only Black person at these events, y'all. Like, first off, I'm from North Carolina. I went to an HBCU, so it's like all Black people. I come here, it's no Black people, which is fine. Like, it's totally fine. I love everybody. But what I'm used to was not what the reality was when I moved here. So I'm getting invited to these events, which I'm so grateful for because, you know, being around other influencers is very inspiring. And it also just allows you to kind of like pat yourself on the back to be invited to the spaces. So I was very grateful. But then too, I was just like, okay, this is kind of overwhelming. And I was dealing with like social anxiety because I didn't really have any friends when I first moved here either. So I think it may have been a little harder for me because not necessarily hard, but hard for me because I was in my head about a lot of stuff. Like, oh, am I supposed to be here? Like, I'm the only Black person. You know, am I invited to these spaces because they need a Black person? Or am I invited to these spaces because I'm of value? You know? Yeah. So I was like having a hard time with that at first. But then I was like, oh no, like I know what I'm doing. Like people love my classes. Like people come to my classes consistently. I'm being asked when am I going to be teaching pop-up classes. So I would say it was hard for myself personally, just because I have like these high expectations of what I'm supposed to be doing. And I'm my biggest critic. But I wouldn't say it was like terribly difficult.
Well, that's, I mean, a beautiful lesson in itself. Like, I feel like we get in our own way more than other people. Like,
absolutely.
It's easy to make excuses for ourselves and put blame on other people. Like, this space wasn't made for me. And like, yes, it's frustrating when spaces aren't made for you, but at a certain age and a certain level of maturity, you're just like, what am I going to do about it?
Right.
This is the circumstances. I can either sit here and complain or I can create my own lane.
Bring my people to this space.
Yeah, bring my people to
this space. Which is what I started to do.
Yeah.
So like I would get invited to stuff. Like this is probably months after I started going to therapy and started to talk about like, well, why do you feel so overwhelmed and overstimulated and anxious and all the things? But I would start to ask when I got invited, like, okay, can I bring my friends? And they'd be like, okay, sure. So it's just like, okay, you're invited to this space. Now you can start bringing other people to this space as well. So that way it's not so overwhelming for you, but also too, so that way your people can get the experience too.
That is a beautiful thing. Like bringing your friends up with you.
Yeah.
If someone is like trying to start their content creation career and are looking for brand deals, what would you say is like the best way to do this?
That's a great question. I would say find something that you really love and then just start recording from there and being consistent with it. People like things of value. Granted, there are a lot of people on TikTok and everywhere that just kind of do random things, but I feel like it's more fulfilling when you're able to help other people. And so with Pilates, I was able to give that you can do at home is something that everybody can do. So I would just say find something that is of quality and of passion for you, and then start to just be consistent with posting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And make sure that your aesthetic looks nice. Like if you're going to be posting something at your home, make sure the background is clear. We don't need to be seeing all the pots and the pans and the stoves and all that. or like, I don't know if you have stuff around, just make sure that your space is clean and then record from there. Make sure that you have good quality lighting. I know I'm getting into like the details of it, but those things really matter, especially like for brands to reach out and be like, oh, okay, I can see myself working with this person on a regular basis.
I mean, these are good tips. I feel like you were like, oh, I'm going into details, but I feel this is what people need.
Yeah.
And I've found like different platforms ask for different things. Like I feel like TikTok feels more raw, and it's like
true.
No judgment, but it's like I see people's backgrounds and they got clutter and all that stuff, and they're over here and they have like millions of views, and I'm like, how? It's just so interesting. But it seems like Instagram, YouTube, maybe TikTok as well, and also views don't equate to brand deals.
Yeah, that is very true.
So it's like it could go, like I know people have gone viral, but it's like they didn't get brand deals. So it seems like that is the recipe.
Yeah, and then I will also say too, so when I first started, and even now, like people will reach out to me, but also too, you outbounding, like you reaching out to brands and being like, hey, like I can create this reel or provide you with this service. This is my rate. I think I shared with you like my pitch and stuff.
Yeah, it was so good.
Thank you. But I learned that pitch from like another friend, and then they were like, girl, here's my pitch, like make it your own. So, I would say also to asking people around you, like I'm a resource, like Asia's a resource. So like ask people around you who are already doing it and see like what insights they have. I mean, I know we're on this podcast right now, like creating or sharing what our ideas are, but yeah.
I mean, I think that's perfect. It's like surrounding yourself with the people that you want to be.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's so key. I actually thought about that one day. Like, you were like, hey, can you look at my pitch? And I was like, oh, like if I need to use a pitch, like I could like make a copy of it. Obviously, like put my own stuff. But, you know, it's like,
absolutely.
That's like how you should do it. So if you are struggling with something and like want to become something, like make sure you're surrounding yourself with people who are doing those things. So and you don't have to reinvent the wheel.
Absolutely. And then even too, like if you're not surrounded with people, DMs on Instagram works. Like you can reach out to people on Instagram and they might not respond, but that's okay. At least you tried to reach out. I would say reaching out to people is one of the top things that also can like set you aside and help you elevate as well.
Yes, that's good. When you first started, were you like DMing, like how many DMs were you sending a day?
So when I first started out, I was actually working with my job. And like it was, for example, Fabletics was a partner that I was trying to work with, like with my job. So it's like, oh, this is a well-known brand for Club Pilates, which is the brand. And then it was like, okay, Club Pilates and Fabletics, it's bigger than me, right? But I am the teacher. Yeah. And I'm gonna put my name, Amber Flowers, on this live, on this like flyer, this post. So that way, like aside from Club Pilates, Amber Flowers has a connection now.
How do you stay afloat and maintain this strong self-confidence when content creation is about like people's likes and views and comments?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. I would say meditating, like doing my own practices is definitely helpful because I've noticed since being here in Cali that I'm an empath. And I feel like we all are an empath to a certain degree, but I'll be picking up on everybody's energies, whether it's good or bad. And a lot of the times I let the bad energies like take over my good energy. Hate that about me, but therapy has helped me to realize that you can't absorb everybody's energy. Like you're a light within yourself and you have to continue to recharge. So I would say meditation has been helpful. Working out has been very helpful because I get to release when I'm like taking care of my own body and then, getting enough sleep.
That's so good.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like it's the best job to be a fitness instructor. Like to have that as a career, it's just like, that's to me a dream. Cause then it's like, okay, you like kind of have to stay fit. Like you can't really fall off because people could be like, what are you telling me to do? You need to be doing.
You need to do it yourself.
Or maybe that's me, but you know.
And it can be hard too, where you're taking care of like basically other people, and then you like forget to take care of yourself. But it's just a practice and a routine, and you just got to be consistent with it, and then it just all starts to make sense.
Yeah. She does a great job. I'm just like, how does she remember these like moves and all the
Girl,
things?
I don't be knowing either. No, I'm just kidding. I'm
like,
just kidding.
You make it look great.
No, thank you.
What motivates you to keep going?
Yeah, I would say what motivates me is just like being that bridge of helping other people. Because in my space, like
Not my space.
No, I just feel like because from where I'm from, like North Carolina, it's a lot of people who say they want to do X, Y, and Z, and it's like, but you can do X, Y, and Z. Just like put effort into it and like find resources. Like it's so possible. But I would say like wanting to be helpful to others to let them know like anything you want to do, you can. Yeah.
That's amazing. Like always inspiring the next generation.
Yeah, for sure.
That's really good. Is there any other parting guidance for our listeners, our viewers, wherever you get your podcast?
Wherever you are. Yeah, I would just say if you have a passion for something, definitely go after it. It can get weary at times, it can get hard at times, but if it's something that you really want to make your reality, it's possible. And I would say like being in LA, I love the fact that everybody is creative in whatever creative thought in your mind that you want to make a reality. It's so possible. I know that's like in LA, but that can be wherever you are. So just always be mindful of that. You got this.
Oh, I love that. Where can we find you?
I'm on Instagram, The Life of A Flowers, and then Spice Pilates, SPICED Pilates, on Instagram, and that's about it.
So Spice Pilates, you can find that on, if people want to join, it is on Instagram. Obviously, you have a website that's spicepilates.com.
Yep.
Okay.
So yeah, I do spicepilates.com. And then, yeah, everything is on that site. And then social media is just Spice Pilates.
Okay. It's the way you act.
It's the way you act.
Not Amber has me doing this. I'm going to say it's the way you act.
I'm just screaming. Yours is very classy. I like it.
Like, my first time doing it. I was like, how do I look?
You look great.
Thanks.
I just wanted to say that I'm very grateful that you asked me to be on your podcast. I told Asia, but I don't really like public speaking. But like she said, I do have a story to share. And I know that with me sharing my story, it can be inspiring to others. I know like I share a lot of my stuff on close friends of me like talking and being encouraging. And I do plan to like do that more for like the public. So I appreciate you for inspiring me to do that.
Yay. I love that. It's so beautiful. And like, I feel like your stories are so relatable. It's not like you're trying to be.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like anyone can relate to it. It's not like you put on this show. It's just like, this is what it is.
Yeah. This is life.
Yeah. And you're not just like, yeah, my life is perfect. You're like, dang, like I was frustrated.
Yeah.
So I like that full 360 view is like really helpful to see and
yeah,
very motivating. Well, yay. I'm so happy we're here. Thanks for tuning in. I hope that you felt inspired. Check out Amber and her amazing work. And if you're in LA, you have to take one of her classes. Like, honestly, I will shift my schedule around to make Amber's classes. Like, she's that amazing. So definitely check her out.
I'm just kidding. Yeah. I do want to share though, starting in the new year, I'll be doing pop-up classes each month.
Ooh.
Yes,
okay.
I do want to share that. So I'm really excited about that. I'll be partnering with different brands every month. And when you follow me, I'll be sure to post that so you guys can check it out.
Yay! Can't wait.
Thank you.
You'll see me there.
Okay.
Front row.
It is what we're doing.
Yeah. I love it.